Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror in the morning and found yourself staring at those dark patches on your face, the melasma on your cheeks, the discoloration around your mouth, and felt like no matter how well you take care of your skin, they simply won't go away? I know, because this is one of the most common complaints I hear from patients over the age of 60, and the frustration is completely understandable. The cosmetic industry spends billions every year trying to convince you that the only solution is an expensive cream, a laser session, or a dermatological treatment that will drain your wallet for months. And most of the time, the melasma comes back, the wrinkles remain, and your confidence continues to pay the price. But what I discovered, and what modern dermatological science has confirmed, is that one of the most effective solutions for melasma and fine lines has existed for centuries. And it's hidden in an ingredient you probably have in your pantry right now. I'm talking about a rice-based preparation that Japanese women used to restore the health of their skin, and that naturally contains one of the most powerful compounds dermatology knows for fading discoloration and fighting signs of aging, kojic acid. Today, I'm going to teach you the scientific version of this ancient recipe, using ingredients that cost less than $5. With results that studies published in the Journal of Dermatological Science confirm can be measured within weeks of consistent use. But pay close attention until the end, because later I'm going to reveal a critical preparation and storage mistake that completely destroys the effects of this mask, and most people make it without realizing it. If you appreciate serious, free medical information like this video now, it's the fairest exchange you can make for the knowledge I'm about to share. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do that before continuing. Click subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, I publish content specifically created to help care for the health and beauty of people over 60. Let's begin. Before we get into the recipe
Melanocytes in the
itself, I need
epidermis
you to
produce
understand the
melanin,
science
which is
behind this
transferred to
preparation.
keratinocytes.
Because when you understand
Excess
the
melanin
mechanism,
leads to
you'll use this
hyperpigmentation,
mask much
seen
more
here as darker
consistently,
skin
and you'll
clusters.
see results much faster. Melasma is a skin pigmentation disorder caused by the overproduction of melanin in certain areas of the face. Melanin is the pigment responsible for the color of our skin. Under normal conditions, it is produced in a balanced way. But with aging, decades of accumulated sun exposure, and the hormonal changes that occur especially in women after menopause, certain cells called melanocytes become overactive. They produce excess melanin. Today, kojic acid is one of the most researched ingredients in modern dermatology for the treatment of melasma. It was discovered in Japan in the early 20th century as a byproduct of rice fermentation, the same process used to make sake and miso. Over the years, Japanese researchers noticed that workers who handled this fermented material had hands and forearms that were visibly lighter than the rest of their bodies. Studies conducted by the University of Osaka and published in the British Journal of Dermatology documented the exact mechanism. Kojic acid inhibits an enzyme called tyrosinase, the very enzyme melanocytes use to produce melanin. When tyrosinase is inhibited, the production of dark pigment decreases. With continued use, existing spots gradually begin to fade, and new spots become much more difficult to form. What's even more impressive is that commercial drugstore creams containing kojic acid generally have concentrations between 0.5% and 2%. Properly prepared cooked rice paste releases kojic acid in its most bioavailable form, without the preservatives and chemical stabilizers added to commercial creams, which often irritate the sensitive skin of people over 60. For melasma specifically, recent research from Harvard University compared the effectiveness of natural kojic acid-based preparations with hydroquinone, the conventional clinical standard for skin lightening treatments. The results showed that with consistent use over 8 weeks, natural kojic acid achieved effectiveness comparable to hydroquinone for mild to moderate discoloration, without the irritation and rebound effects that hydroquinone frequently causes. The second component of our formula is lactic acid, derived from whole milk. Lactic acid belongs to the family of alpha-hydroxy acids, the famous AH, as you've probably heard mentioned in skincare products. But the lactic acid found in whole milk has a characteristic that sets it apart from the synthetic AH. As used in commercial products, it is naturally buffered, which means it works much more gently on the skin. Its mechanism is what dermatologists call gentle chemical exfoliation. Surface skin cells are held together by a kind of intercellular glue. As we age, this glue becomes more resistant, and dead, discolored skin cells take longer to shed naturally. Lactic acid dissolves this glue, allowing old, darkened, and dry cells to loosen and be removed, revealing a newer, brighter, and more even layer of skin underneath. For people dealing with melasma, This process offers a double benefit. In addition to removing already pigmented cells from the surface, lactic acid stimulates cellular renewal, bringing newer and healthier cells to the surface more quickly. Studies from the Oxford Dermatological Research Institute have confirmed that lactic acid also stimulates the production of ceramides, the natural fats that form the skin's protective barrier. For people over 60, whose skin barrier is already naturally compromised by aging, this benefit is especially valuable. A strong barrier means better hydration, less sensitivity to irritation, and much greater resistance to the sun damage that worsens melasma. The third component is extra virgin olive oil, and specifically the squalene it contains. Squalene is a lipid naturally produced by the body itself. It is one of the primary components of sebum, the natural oil the skin produces to protect and hydrate itself. When we are young, the skin produces abundant amounts of squalene. After age 30, this production begins to decline. By age 60, squalene levels in the skin are so low that the skin loses much of its natural ability to retain moisture and protect itself from oxidation. High-quality extra virgin olive oil contains up to 0.7% squalene. When applied topically, the squalene from olive oil is recognized by skin cells as a familiar component because it is structurally identical to the squalene the skin itself produced when it was younger. This means it is absorbed much more efficiently than many other plant oils. Once absorbed, squalene performs three essential functions. It seals moisture into the skin, preventing transepidermal water loss, which is one of the main causes of dehydration-related fine lines. It acts as an antioxidant, neutralizing free radicals generated by sun exposure that accelerate aging and worsen melasma. And it has anti-inflammatory properties, reducing the redness and sensitivity that many people over 60 experience. The combination of rice-derived kojic acid, milk-derived lactic acid, and olive oil squalene creates what researchers call a synergistic effect. Each component enhances the effects of the others. The lactic acid opens the skin surface, the kojic acid reaches the melanocytes more effectively, and the squalene seals everything in place, ensuring the active compounds remain in contact with the skin long enough to do their work. Now I want to talk about a fourth benefit that is rarely mentioned in videos about this recipe, but one that I consider especially important for people over 60. Cooked rice contains a compound called allantoin, which belongs to the class of skin-soothing and healing agents. Allantoin has been used in pharmaceutical products for decades because it has a unique property. It accelerates the renewal of damaged skin cells while simultaneously reducing local inflammation. For people over 60 who struggle with sensitive skin, rosacea, chronic redness, or irritation caused by sun exposure, the allantoin found in rice paste acts like a soothing balm. It reduces the inflammation that worsens melasma, because melasma is, in part, an inflammatory response of the skin, while also preparing the skin to better absorb the other compounds in the formula. There is also the rice starch itself, which has a very interesting physical property. When the paste dries on the skin during the 20-minute application period, it contracts slightly. This physical action creates a mild tightening effect that helps refine enlarged pores and reduce excess oiliness.
I can't believe how
leaving the
clear
skin
and glowing
with a
my skin
smoother
looks.
and more even texture. Now we've reached what
I feel
consider
so
the
much
most
more
important
confident
point
now.
in this video, and I ask for your full attention. We're now about halfway through today's content, and before I go into the complete step-by-step recipe, I need to ask a favor. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it now. Click the subscribe button below and turn on notifications. Every week, I publish serious, evidence-based medical content created specifically for the health and beauty needs of people over 60. Don't miss the upcoming videos. Now let's move on to the complete step-by-step guide for the scientific rice mask for melasma. Ingredients for one application: 3 level tablespoons of good quality raw white rice. Do not use parboiled rice. The industrial processing significantly reduces its kojic acid content. 1 cup of filtered water, 2 tablespoons of fresh whole milk. Skim milk or ultra-pasteurized milk will not work as effectively. The intense pasteurization process used for ultra-pasteurized milk degrades part of the available lactic acid, and skim milk contains fewer lipids that help create the proper texture of the mask. 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil. This detail matters. Refined olive oil loses much of its squalene during the refining process. Preparation: in a small saucepan, combine the rice and filtered water. Cook over low heat without adding salt at any point. Salt interferes with the concentration of kojic acid in the starch until the rice becomes extremely soft and overcooked, much more than you would prepare for a normal meal. The goal is to release as much starch and kojic acid as possible into the cooking water. Transfer the rice and the remaining cooking water into a blender. Blend on high speed for at least 2 minutes until you obtain a completely smooth paste. If you do not have a blender, an immersion blender works well too. Strain the paste through a fine sieve, pressing it with a spoon to extract only the smooth, creamy portion. Discard any grains or fibers left behind in the sieve. You want only the ultrafine paste. In a clean container, mix 3 tablespoons of the strained rice paste with 2 tablespoons of whole milk and 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. Stir thoroughly for about 1 minute until the texture becomes smooth and creamy. Application: always apply it at night after washing your face with a mild, fragrance-free cleanser. The reason for nighttime application is important. During the day, kojic acid can temporarily increase the skin's sensitivity to sunlight. At night, it works without interference and without the risk of photosensitivity. Apply a generous, even layer to the face and neck, avoiding the eye area and lips. For melasma specifically, apply using gentle circular motions over the dark patches to ensure good penetration. Leave it on for 20 minutes. During this time, you will notice the paste drying slightly. This is normal and part of the process. The starch is creating its mild tightening effect. After 20 minutes, rinse with lukewarm water only. Do not use cleanser when rinsing. The cleanser will remove compounds that are still being absorbed during the final moments of contact with the skin. After rinsing, if needed, apply a gentle, fragrance-free moisturizer. Use this mask 3 to 4 times per week. Do not use it every day during the first few weeks. Allow your skin time to adapt to the cellular renewal process. Now for the golden rule that I need you to remember. This preparation contains no synthetic preservatives. It is made with fresh milk and cooked rice, 2 highly perishable ingredients. At room temperature, this mixture begins to ferment and develop bacteria in less than 4 hours. Applying a sour or bacterially contaminated mixture to your face is not harmless. It can cause bacterial acne, contact dermatitis, and allergic reactions, the exact opposite of what you want for your skin. The rule is simple. Always store it in a glass container with a lid inside the refrigerator and discard anything left over after 3 days. After 3 days, the concentration of active compounds begins to degrade and the preparation loses effectiveness, while also becoming a microbiological risk. It is best to prepare small batches, enough for 2 or 3 applications, and make a fresh batch regularly. Preparation takes approximately 15 minutes. It is worth making it fresh. Now I'd like to answer the questions I receive most often about this recipe. How long does it take to see results with melasma? This is the most important question, and I need to be honest with you. Melasma is a chronic condition. There is no solution from a single application. There are no results in 1 week. What studies show is that with consistent use 3 to 4 times per week, the first measurable improvements, a reduction in the intensity of the dark patches, begin to appear between 4 and 8 weeks. More significant improvements are typically observed after 3 to 4 months of regular use. Consistency is the only real secret behind the results. Can I use it if I have very sensitive skin? Yes, with one precaution. Before applying it to your entire face, perform a patch test. Apply a small amount to the inside of your forearm and wait 24 hours. If there is no redness, itching, or irritation, your skin is tolerating the ingredients well and you can use it normally on your face. The allantoin in the rice makes this preparation quite gentle, but every skin is different. Can I use sunscreen along with this routine? Not only can you, it is mandatory. Melasma is aggravated by sun exposure. Any skin brightening treatment, whether based on kojic acid or any other active ingredient, loses much of its effectiveness if it is not accompanied by daily use of sunscreen with a minimum SPF of 30, reapplied throughout the day. I recommend a mineral sunscreen containing titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, which tends to be gentler on sensitive skin over 60. We've now reached the point where I want to hear from you. Before continuing, please go to the comments below and type the word porcelain. Just that. The word porcelain in the comments. That tells me you've made it this far, that you're committed to taking care of your skin, and that this content is reaching the right people. Type porcelain now. I'll read every comment. I'd like to close with a thought that I believe is very important. We live in a culture that has associated facial aging with shame, one that has placed enormous pressure on women, especially women over 60, to look younger than they really are, and one that has created a multi-billion-dollar industry that profits from that insecurity. I'm not here to promise that this mask will give you 30 years back. That would be dishonest. What I can tell you based on 30 years of medical practice and the latest dermatological research is this. Your skin has a much greater capacity for renewal and recovery than you may realize. even after 60, 70, or 80 years of age. The biology of the skin responds to proper care, and when you nourish your skin with the compounds it needs, such as the kojic acid, lactic acid, and squalene provided by this recipe, it responds, not with miracles, with real, gradual, and sustainable results. Melasma can be reduced, fine lines can be softened, skin texture can improve, and you can look at yourself in the mirror with a sense of satisfaction that no expensive drugstore cream can provide, because you'll know you achieved it with your own hands, using simple ingredients, guided by the wisdom that science and tradition together have preserved for centuries. Take care of your skin. Take care of your health. You deserve it. If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to the channel now, turn on notifications, and share this video with a friend or family member who struggles with melasma. Sometimes sharing information is the greatest gift you can give someone. And before you leave, don't close this video without watching the next one. The topic is absolutely essential for the skin and overall health of people over 60, and what I'm going to reveal in the next video may completely surprise you. The next video is, are your legs losing strength? A doctor reveals the 6 foods that rebuild muscle after 60. Take good care of yourself. See you in the next video. I'm Dr. Joseph Barrett.